Ladies and gentlemen, Trump-backed Tim Michels wins the GOP nomination for governor in Wisconsin. Now you have Kari Lake, who won in Arizona. You have Trump going, this is an unofficial count, but according to NBC News, it was a couple of days ago, 188 candidates backed by the former president have won primaries. Only 14 have lost. So we can count, if you count Kari Lake and you count Tim Michels, again, an unofficial count, it's around 190. If you want to say you can add a couple of losses, I really don't care. If Mashed Potato Brains endorsed people, they would lose immediately, but whatever. Democrats are staying far away from our beloved president. So they don't even want him to run again. But anyway. So Trump is around 190 and 14 or so. His primary record is unbelievable, stellar, amazing. They have to indict the man in order to stop him. Because they can't stop. He's like this runaway freight train. He is completely redefining, reshaping the Republican Party and American politics. Donald Trump is a very important individual in American history. He is almost single-handedly, along with the candidates who have won, that he's backed, single-handedly altering the course of U.S. politics away from the public relations-obsessed Democratic Party that reveres intelligence agencies and redefines recession and redefines words in general and forces or coerces or intimidates people into a consensus when they're actively suppressing opposing or dissenting views. We can go on forever. There are things but the Democratic Party is presiding over a recession now. They're very happy that inflation ticked down a bit, but oil prices are going to go back up. The genie of inflation is out of the bottle. Pandora's box of problems is out of the bottle. We have an economy now that probably won't rebound third quarter or even fourth quarter. Corporate profits are going to decline, according to Michael Burry. I've been saying that, but Michael Burry knows infinitely more than I do. I predicted all of this in terms of the economy in my article in October in the Federalist in 2021. Hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel. Word of mouth is the best thing you can do. The absolute best thing you can do. If you know anyone who might enjoy H.A. Goodman on YouTube and the Stock Market Crash channel and the Nuclear Confrontation channel, subscribe to those channels, ladies and gentlemen. And subscribe here. Again, word of mouth, friends, family, anyone you know that might enjoy this. We're almost at 198,000 subs, ladies and gentlemen. It's because of you. I appreciate that. We're going to be at 200,000, over 200,000 in a couple of months. We're going to have a very important, Trump Republicans are going to take over midterms. You have Tim Michels, who did very well in the Republican primary. He has a very good chance of becoming the next governor, as does Kari Lake in her state in Arizona. You have Trump Republicans in the House, Trump Republicans now in the Senate, with Blake Masters and Herschel Walker. They can win. You have Trump Republicans everywhere. He has completely redefined the Republican Party. The Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld GOP is extinct. They are now fossils. They're now the miserably failed, always wrong Lincoln Project, who opposed marriage equality and backed every failed intervention and regime change and counterinsurgency conflict we've ever had. They always use the word damage or Trump and his potential for damage. It's like, well, we had record highs in household median income, and we had record lows in poverty under Trump. So anyone who says Trump abandoned the working class is an imbecile who knows nothing about his accomplishments or the economy. Look at what's taking place now. Real wages are down 4.4%. We are going to have a terrible recession. And hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. I have a very important segment today giving you context on inflation numbers. because they're going to spin it. I mean, you have to understand, oil prices are going to go back up very soon, by the way. It's a question mark as to whether demand, the numbers pertaining to demand, are even accurate. So you're looking at inflation continuing to go up. Interest rates will go up. I mean, the whole thing is worker productivity declined at the fastest pace since 1948, yet we have low unemployment and unemployment claims, jobless claims, went up. And we're in a recession with rising interest rates. Who does that? Who's in a recession and increases interest rates? Democrats. Then you have Hunter and Hillary, and then, the actual crimes that they've committed. And I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I'll be vindicated eventually in my unique viewpoint of American politics. I've already been vindicated, unfortunately. I told everyone that Clinton would lose to Trump. I told everyone we'd have a terrible recession and a stock market crash that we haven't even begun to see, unfortunately. I know that so many people have suffered through this economy. By the way, as I tell people to save your money, if you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. And to my super thanks, I see you give super thanks, ladies and gentlemen, and I thank you so very much. Sometimes I don't thank you immediately in the comments section, but I eventually do, and I just thank you. If you want to give a super thanks to this segment, please do. But Tim Michels, he won. Fantastic. I hope he wins. Trump-backed candidate. The media will eventually gravitate, and by the way, the FBI will eventually have a Trump Republican director. Imagine a Trump Republican director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, as opposed to a Democratic Party loyalist that we've seen with Comey and Mr. Wray. Imagine a Trump Republican raiding the homes of Democrats who actually did commit crimes, who were weighing illegal narcotics in videos. I mean, my God. Could you imagine if Hunter's videos, voicemails, text messages, emails, could you imagine if Eric Trump or Donald Trump Jr. had 150 suspicious financial transactions, emails with corporations and foreign operatives literally asking for help and influence? And Joe, as the vice president, meeting with Hunter's business associates in the West Wing? Really? And then, of course, you have top secret intelligence on private servers. But you know what? Bill and Hillary still have immense influence within the United States government. That will probably only end when Hillary, or if Hillary loses to Trump again. Because I think it'll be Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. I pray for that every day. Every evening as it please God, please allow Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump to do it one more time. It'd be the best thing ever. I just want to see every morally superior, liberal, progressive Democrat on YouTube beg their viewership to vote for Hillary again. After I was disparaged 6 years ago for telling people Clinton would lose to Trump. And hey, there's a chance Hillary could. I mean, anything's possible in American politics. There's a chance, even with a recession, a possible depression, all of these things, ICBMs, God forbid, flying above. You have half the country is like, bring it. Don't sing it, bring it. I'd rather have, the end of the world than Trump. They are obsessed with Trump. I'm not obsessed with, do you see me being obsessed with Hillary? I want her to be the nominee again for the Democratic Party. You see me being obsessed with Joe Biden? I feel bad for him. He's going to get impeached. He committed crimes almost certainly with Hunter, but I don't dislike them on a human level. I don't like their policies of recession and horrible foreign policy and Lincoln Project nonsense. They're the ones who obsess over Trump. Oh, they raided Mar-a-Lago. They did the same thing with the Mueller probe. Mueller time. They're obsessed with the man. The cult around Trump, the cult of personality, is the Democratic Party. I mean, if you're a Democrat, what do you have to run on? Economy? Stinks. Foreign policy? Catastrophe. What's the biggest accomplishment? The Inflation Reduction Act? attempting to reduce inflation that you caused with more money? You don't pump more money to reduce inflation. This is just basic economics. You know, it's unbelievable. It's the most counterproductive. It's not even Orwellian. It's too stupid to be Orwellian. It's not even, there's no euphemism there. It's just like Inflation Reduction Act, pumping more money into the economy without a promise of growth. And if you want to say, well, tax cuts, Trump's tax cuts, increase the deficit and the national debt. Well, but they directly promoted economic growth. They directly promoted the Dallas Federal Reserve, so the tax cuts promoted GDP growth. And this will not. And they say, oh, well, Biden, it was a wonderful victory. Why? What's the victory? That Manchin and Sinema didn't tank his policy again? His spending bills again? That he finally got his own political party to agree with him? Oh, wow, amazing. That's not a victory. That's a Pyrrhic victory. If you look at what, whenever Democrats say we're going to combat climate change, it basically is meaningless. There's no way to find out if any of their policies are protecting the planet. Zero way. No way. You can say, well, all the top scientists agree. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. That all the top climate change, they all agree. These policies will save the planet. Okay, then prove it. Just prove it. How? Can you explain how many years you've added to the planet with your policies that tank the economy? That's why Biden is flooding strategic petroleum reserves. You think that the oil prices are down just because of suddenly Biden's failed policies worked? He's flooding strategic petroleum reserves into the economy. That's why the environmental groups are suing him. After the oil companies or oil associations sued him in the beginning of his wonderful tenure. It's only unfortunately going to get worse. By the way, if you want to support my work on Patreon, please do. Or give us super things. But I mean, save your money. Save your money. It's only going to get worse. Anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Tim Michels won. And Trump has redefined. They can send in the fever dreams of morally superior, highly educated, wonderful Democrats. You know, Trump, he's like, escaped to like Elba. They've banished him on an island after indicting him. He'll never again step foot in the United States of America. You know, the country will be safe from Trump's record low poverty rates and record highs in household median income. Oh my God, the horror. But then you still have Tim Michels, you still have Kari Lake, you still have Herschel Walker, you still have Blake Masters, you still have Kevin McCarthy, who's slowly turning around. You still have all the Republicans who are like, I don't like Trump's personality, who are realizing, oh, yeah, so the Federal Bureau of Investigation will go after any Republican now. Go after their homes? Oh, okay. All you need is media and Democrats. And an attorney general that, they said Barr and Sessions were Trump's personal attorney. This is nonsense. Garland is Biden's personal attorney. He probably doesn't even know what's happening. Okay. Mashed potato brains probably doesn't know what's going on, but, you know, he probably gave his tacit approval or his approval. So, in between, like, hot cocoa and marshmallows, they said, what do you think of raiding Mar-a-Lago? Hey, man, come on now. Yeah. And so then it happened. But definitely you have the Biden administration utilizing the United States government against their direct political rivals, just like they did with the Mueller probe, just like they did. It's not national security to find out that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Sorry. You had everybody from The Guardian to the New York Times publishing the DNC emails, but suddenly it was a plot by another country to let us know that Bernie was cheated. Anyway, you know, I can go on forever. Hit subscribe to this channel. Tim Michels won. Trump is now 190 and 14 or so. Unofficial count, but around there. Give me your thoughts below. Be here at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. I have an upload. To my 14-minute crowd, be here at 11 a.m. for the upload, people. It's a very, very important one on the impeachment of Merrick Garland. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. And be here for the live stream also tonight.